Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. So I want to say thank you so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. I thank you so much. We will be doing more free content along with making sure there's exclusives on both Spotify and Patreon. Be sure to check them out. So without further ado, I wanted to step away from music real quick. We have yet to talk about TV shows. So there's TV shows from back in the day, recently, that may be still going on, may have been canceled, and they don't get talked about. So, hey, why can't we talk about it? So, I wanted to talk about the sitcom Moesha, and that is because I did previously talk about Brandy, and I feel like in this period of where talking about Brandy as far as albums can mesh in also with her television show that she had as well, and why not, because she was doing both, and also did a movie with Whitney, whereas it was Cinderella. So we can talk about all those things, but let's talk about Moesha. Let's get into it. Moesha is an American television sitcom that aired on UPN from January 23rd, 1996 to May 14th, 2001. The series stars R&B singer Brandy as Moesha Denise Mitchell, an African-American teenager living with her upper middle class family in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. It was originally ordered as a pilot for CBS 1995-1996 television series, but was declined by the network. It was then later picked up by UPN, which aired it as a mid-season replacement. It went on to become the biggest success for the network and one of the greatest hits over the course of the network's entire run. The series was a joint production for UPN by Regan John Productions, Serendipity Productions, and Jump at the Sun Productions, in association with Big Ticket Television. The series focused on the life of a black upper middle class family through the eyes of a typical girl named Moesha, her father Frank, a widower and Saturn car salesman and later owner of his own dealership, Brothers Saturn, has married Dee, the vice principal at Moesha's high school, much to Moesha's disapproval. The series was created by Ralph Farquhar, along with the writing team of Sarah V. Finney and Vida Spears. The settings for the show include the Mitchell household, teen hangout The Den, in some cases Crenshaw High School. The school attended by Moesha, Kim, Niecy, and Hakeem. The sitcom was set in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. So yeah, this show was really big in culture because we didn't often see a teenage black woman, I should say, because she was a black girl but then became a woman throughout the series, be able to go through different types of struggles and obstacles in life that are usually portrayed in more or less a Caucasian setting, or maybe even Spanish setting, but we just didn't always see black people have a role where a young black girl is the protagonist. It usually is a young black woman with their family, and the family and everybody collectively is, a star. And that's what it was here too. But Moesha, of course, Brandy, is the star of the show. Just as, when you think of the Parkers, Kim and, of course, Monique, Countess Monique, if you will, they were the stars of the Parkers. So it's just, and that stems from this too. So it's just like, we didn't always get to have that back in the day. And so having this was really a testimony for a lot of black actresses that, at the time of this were more or less in movies. And, if they made appearances on, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or, you know, just Martin, if you will. Like, but those are more going into like the adults. But even so, this was more or less teen into adulthood, and we didn't get to see that glimpse of a black girl have that in a bit more squeaky way. I mean, you know, there's some rough parts in the show too, but it's just, we just didn't have that back in the day. We didn't, not like this. The show dealt with real social issues affecting teenagers, such as premarital sex, the death of a parent, teen pregnancy, drug use, race relations, sexuality, dementia, and day-to-day issues teenagers face at home and school, such as gender, prejudice, and inequality. And from watching the show, yeah, I looked at all that. I did see all that. I think, not to give it away, but I think that Moesha did get pregnant and had to get an abortion. I'm not sure. I think that's what had happened, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll get more into it. In one of the most controversial episodes, Secrets and Lies, aired February 7, 2000, the Mitchell family learned from Aunt Hattie that Frank is the biological father of Dorian, whom the Mitchells and Dorian himself believed to be Frank's nephew. The shocking news of Frank's infidelity during his first marriage turned the family upside down and resulted in Dorian's rebellion and Moesha moving out of the family home and into a dorm room. So, up until, because Dorian is casted by Brandy's real brother, Ray J. But despite that, implementing him in a role where, all right, no, you're my actual brother, but you're my actual brother from another woman that was from an infidelity from my mom. Yeah, it's just it was a whole twist into what they really live, because it's like, that's her real brother, but she had to act where it's just like, you my brother, but it's like, you not from the same mom. But in reality, it's like, no, that's not true. but they acted really well on that. Moesha was also the first black cast sitcom to have an episode devoted to teenagers and non-heterosexuality. Yes. So, the episode Labels, aired October 1st, 1996, concerned Hakeem's cousin Omar showing up at the Mitchell's home, and the family fears he could be another Hakeem. Instead, he seems to be nice and responsible. Moesha, still grieving about her breakup with Q, goes out on a date with Omar. After attending a movie, they meet Omar's friend Tracy, leading Moesha to believe that Omar may be gay. Moesha later tells Kim and Niecy her suspicions, and it doesn't take long until everyone in school knows the latest gossip. When Hakeem hears the news, Moesha realizes that she may have jeopardized their friendship. So, yeah, they went there. And there were 6 seasons, okay? And they would try to have enough episodes for each season at a time, because this is 96, mind you. So the first season had 14 episodes, which stemmed from January 23rd to May 21st, 1996. So I was just about to turn 2 by the time the first season was done. The second season had 24 episodes, which was literally months later, so August 27th, 1996, which, to be honest with you, that same day Aaliyah came back, or around that same day, Aaliyah came back and said 1 in a million. Okay, so, you know, people were starting to emerge as this show was starting to grow, okay? We had some more music. And, yeah, the second season was done by May 20th, 1997. So by this time, we're already, you know, having Toni Braxton come back and all. Listen, I don't want to dip too much into music, but we was having people come through, okay? And then season 3, they had 23 episodes, August 26, 1997 to May 19th, 1998. So by the end of season 3, we about to get a new album. We about to get a new album called Never Say Never by the time this season had ended. And I don't think anyone was ready. No one was ready for Never Say Never in the 2 to 3 weeks that was coming. They were like, wait a minute, she got a new album out? But we were just watching her. Yes. You got 3 different seasons to watch, and you got a new album. I know that's right. And then season 4, October 6th, Yeah, it had 22 episodes, October 6th, 1998 to May 25th, 1999. So just right before I was turning 5, they had season 4. And, you know, everyone was already thoroughly into Never Say Never, Have You Ever, The Boy Is Mine, you get it. And then season 5 had 22 episodes as well, August 23rd, 1999 to May 22nd, 2000. So at this point, Brandy's grown, and I believe Ray J is now Dorian and in the show. And I believe the Parkers had already been emerging from here. Kim was Countess was not on the show anymore. I believe she was not on the show anymore as of season 4 or 5, but she was not on the show anymore. And then the last season, season 6, which had 22 episodes, September 4th, 2000. And then, of course, was over by May 14th, 2001. So, yep, there was Brandy who played Moesha. There was William Allen Young who played Frank. Countess Vaughn who played Kim. They had archive footage for season 5 and 6, but yep, by season 5 she was not on the show no more. Marcus T. Polk was Miles, who was on the show throughout the time. Lamont Bentley, Hakeem Campbell, he was on the show throughout the whole time. Unfortunately, he had passed away. I gotta say, this was back in the 2000s, and that's another thing too. There's actors and actresses that had passed throughout, you know, time as if these shows may not have been on anymore. But yeah, he had passed away in 2005, unfortunately, literally after Ray J's birthday. But yeah, he was driving alone when he was killed in a single car accident. Yeah, he was on the highway. So horrible. Sustained multiple blunt force injuries and was pronounced dead. Yeah, he has 2 daughters. Yeah, so he had children, which is, you know, they much grown now. But yeah, Yvette Wilson, who was Andell. So Yvette Wilson had also passed away. She passed away June 14th, 2012. Yeah, she was married to Jerome Harry from 2001 until her death. She had kidney disease. Having survived a kidney transplant and regular dialysis, but eventually died from cervical cancer. Yeah, which had went throughout her entire body. That's horrible. There was people that was donating for her medical bills and transportation costs. She was 48 years old. Cervical cancer, it's in the woman's cervix, right in the bottom, right? Yeah, you know, you gotta make sure where the uterus, and yes, that's not a game. So any woman out there, get your regular checkups. Don't be just talking about I may get pregnant or I'm tired of these periods. You know, you got to make sure all that functions from time to time, because, you know, there'll be some men out there that even if they, you know, working with something down there, they may mess you up. So be careful. It's been proven. There's some people that, you know, they take it a little too far, and then later on in life you're like, well, why is this happening to me, doctor? Well, you know, he was having some fun times that, you know, became a little bit too many rough times. Okay, and then sometimes it sad to say, it could be genetic. Sometimes that, you know, not everyone's genes are as strong as they get older. It's a real thing, so definitely look into that, guys. Make sure. But yeah, Yvette Wilson was also in Poetic Justice, which I just was talking about. So, you know, they and she was in Friday, you know. Don't Be a Menace, she was in that too. House Party 3, you know, they all made their money in different areas besides Moesha. Cheryl Lee Ralph, she played Dee. She was on the show up until season 6. So in season 6, she would appear from time to time, but she wasn't really on the show as much. Yeah. Ray J, wasn't really on the show until season 5, up until the end. Shar Jackson, she was only reoccurring from the first season, and then pretty much became one of her main friends, Moesha, in the show, as of season 2 all the way to the end. And then there's Fredro Starr, who was Q. He was a main character from season 2 and 3, became a guest appearance in season 4, and then would reoccur from time to time in season 5 and 6. And that's because Moesha was with one person, dumped them, got back with Q, dumped him. There was a lot going on. But Bernie Mac made appearances on the show, God rest his soul, because he's gone too. Marilyn Santana, God rest his soul too. He was on the show. He was Haji. he was unfortunately murdered. Someone had shot him for no reason, I believe. Yeah. He was murdered while sitting in a car. He just left someone's home in Crenshaw, and there was someone that just shot at him, and Marilyn Santana was the passenger, and that's the shame, and that's similar to unfortunately how Biggie passed. They were just in the passenger seat. The bullet penetrated the right front passenger headrest and entered his head. Oh, they shot right here. Damn. In recent events, that's not cute. Like, that's not funny. It's not funny. No, it's not okay. But yeah, there was people that had made appearances on the show. Usher was making appearances on the show too, There was a lot of people that made appearances. Master P, Genuine, so Jasmine Lewis, okay? So, the show really came together, and I gotta say by season 5, sad to say it started to decline, because all these other shows started to emerge. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but in a good way, because there was other actresses and actors that was looking to do things. There were Moesha cast members, including Brandy. They would make crossover appearances on the Parkers, which why not? Though not a direct spin-off of Moesha, the show Girlfriends was created by Moesha writer Mara Brock Akil and exists in the same universe as Moesha. The character Maya Wilkes from Girlfriends lives in Leimert Park like the characters of Moesha, and appeared in an episode babysitting for her sister-in-law Barbara Lee, who happened to be Dorian's birth mother. Niecy appeared in a season 1 episode of Girlfriends. Okay, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So, the series The Game was a spinoff from Girlfriends. I didn't even know that either. But yes, so by the 6th season, ratings for Moesha had dropped, and UPN opted not to renew or air the series for a 7th season. The series ended on an unresolved cliffhanger, with Miles being kidnapped by a rival of Dorian, Moesha considering moving in with Hakeem or her best friend Niecy, and a positive pregnancy test being found in the trash at Moesha's dorm room, without positive indication as whose it was. And Entertainment Weekly reported a rumor that certain plots were to be resolved on the Parkers, but those storylines were ultimately never resolved. But on November 3rd, 2017, the cast reunited on The Real and have expressed interest in reviving the show. absolutely, we need a reboot to this show because we ended on a cliffhanger. Norwood pointed out. In August 2020, Norwood revealed she was in talks for a reboot, citing the show's success on Netflix. So, yeah, over time now we can be able to stream, the seasons and be able to watch them whenever and however we want. And yeah, if they was to bring the show back, I don't see why not. Everyone's an adult now, everyone's grown. Of course, it would make sense if she were to have Hakeem be someone that she was with, but unfortunately had passed. It would resonate with reality, where she does have a daughter, where he also had a daughter in real life. So it's just, it could make sense again. They both had daughters. Unfortunately, he passed, but it can make sense. And even Brandy's daughter can make an appearance and be like, oh, Hakeem was my dad or whatever. You never know. Or maybe one of his daughters can come in and play with her, be with her daughters, and they can, listen, it can be a thing. And have Uncle Miles and whatnot. Listen, it could be a thing. But, yeah, guys. As far as, because they said it, I'm trying to think of where it is, but I had read about it. I think it's more or less when I read into Brandy's life story and timeline, but I will say this, she was and has admitted that she was overworked, or felt overworked, and had suffered from dehydration, okay, and exhaustion, and it goes there, especially when she was working on her next studio album, Full Moon, at the time. So yeah, there was a lot going on. But rest in peace to those that were a part of the show and are missed. And I, again, hope to see that this show could be rebooted and maybe even be better. But that's the end of our video, guys. I'm glad I was able to talk about a TV show. We will talk about more TV shows and, the hidden stories that we don't really get to hear about nowadays, whether they still on or not. But thank you for watching and listening, and I'll be back with more.